So guys, we have to talk about how Cori Bush, in about 30 seconds, absolutely destroyed Donald Trump today during the impeachment hearings, and in the course of doing it, made the absolute best case for why Donald Trump needs to go and needs to go now.
If we fail to remove a white supremacist president who incited a white supremacist insurrection, it's communities like Missouri's 1st District that suffer the most. The 117th Congress must understand that we have a mandate to legislate in defense of Black lives. The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist in chief. Thank you, and I yield back.
And from New York wishes to reserve the gentleman from Ohio.
All the Republicans could do there was boo. You heard them booing at the end. How disgraceful is that? Because they have nothing else to say at that truth. That truth just dropped onto the House floor by Cori Bush. Donald Trump exists, especially now, but through his whole political career, short as it is, as a monument to white dominance, as a monument to whiteness. That's what Donald Trump is there to preserve. White, power over the House, over the presidency, over the Senate. That's what he's there for. And when his supporters, who as I noted earlier, through systems that tend to overweigh the value of votes from white people, particularly white rural people, when they lost that election, what happened? They didn't just go away. They didn't just say, congratulations to the Democrats, we'll get you in the midterms. They didn't even say, look, we lost. What can we do better to reach out to non-white, non-rural demographics to win more elections? They went at the Capitol buildings. They went at the Capitol buildings, egged on by Trump and Cruz and Hawley and lots of other elected officials and people in right-wing media, and on and on and on and on. That's what they did. What they did was a reaction against democracy in defense of white supremacy. That's what they did. And so Cori Bush is right to note that one of the core objectives of defending and expanding democracy is to root out this insidious idea that white people have this deserved supremacy over others, this deserved right to rule, that their votes should either be the only ones that count or count more than others, or that other people should have their right to vote restricted, and that when white people lose, that, somehow it's illegitimate, but when other people win, it's illegitimate, these sorts of things. That has to be rooted out. And that goes beyond Trump. Cori Bush is the one personally leading the charge right now in favor of expelling some of the Republicans that defended Trump, during these last few months, and in particular the last couple weeks. But it has to start at the top. It does. A message needs to be sent that the man whose actions inspired this last gasp of white dominance over American governance needs to go. He needs to go. If you want to build a racially equitable democracy, and a democracy that has any chance of representing the actual needs of the diverse American working class, that man needs to go. It's not symbolism. It doesn't matter if he's gone in 6 days, 7 days, whatever. It doesn't matter. He needs to go. He needs to be forced out. It's very telling to me that while a lot of Democrats have made good arguments about why Trump needs to go, that it's been Cori Bush and Ilhan Omar so far, two of the most progressive congresswomen that have made the best case. I'm going to play you Ilhan's quote just real quick here.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Speaker, let us not mince words about what happened last week. It was a violent attempt to interrupt our democratic process. It was a targeted blow at the most essential process that makes us a democracy. It was a direct and specifically incited by the President of the United States. For years, we have been asked to turn a blind eye to the criminality, corruption, and blatant disregard to the rule of law by the tyrant president we have in the White House. We as a nation can no longer look away. The president not only incited an insurrection against our government, but has in word and deed led a rebellion. We cannot simply move past this or turn the page. For us to be able to survive as a functioning democracy, there has to be accountability. We must impeach and remove this president from the office immediately so that he cannot be a threat to our democracy. I stand ready to fulfill my oath of office. And I challenge my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to do the same. I yield back.
And that's not quite as concise as Cori Bush's, but it's really heartfelt. And it's very telling that Ilhan Omar made those remarks, given that Trump attacked her basically more than anyone else during this election, including Joe Biden, who he was running against. So I want to make it clear that Donald Trump being impeached, being removed right now is absolutely essential. And I am very proud to see people in the squad taking leadership in that fight.